This video is going to teach us about escape sequences. So in this video, I have a quote here on Notepad that I would like to print in a print window. The issue is these two double quotation marks. So we've seen previously that if we'd like to print some text on the screen, we need to include it in a print statement. And to do that, we need to enclose it in what we call a string literal. A string literal is defined by two double quotation marks. However, you'll notice that within this print, I've included two double quotation marks. So maybe you can foresee the difficulty that this is going to cause. Let me just copy this print statement. And now what I'll try to do is place it inside of a print statement and turn it into a string literal. If this were easy, I could just simply hit compile and everything would be fine. But let's see what happens when we hit compile. Okay, it tells me a parenthesis is expected. That's a little misleading because I have an opening parenthesis in my print statement and it's linked with a closing parenthesis in my print statement. So what's going on? Well, the problem is, if you can see what happened, this double quotation mark closed the original string literal that I was trying to form. So we needed like a workaround to allow us to print a double quotation mark within a double quotationed string literal. So what the creators of Java decided to do is to use a key that is not very common. Okay, so they chose a special character that's not real commonly used. It's the backslash, and the backslash creates what we call an escape sequence. By putting a backslash in front of this double quotation mark, it's a sort of a notifier to the compiler that we're about to put a double quotation mark into our string. However, we don't want to close the string literal at that point. We want to actually print that double quotation mark on the screen. I would need to do that with the second double quotation mark. Now as I put this backslash here, notice how the remaining text will turn green. And when that happened, then I've just created one single string literal that runs from the opening quotation mark to that final quotation mark. The two double quotation marks inside have now not closed my string literal. They should be printed on the screen. Let's see if we can compile. Okay, class compiled, no syntax errors, looks good. Let's run, and looks perfect. Notice how the two double quotation marks printed within the string. Also, pay attention to how the backslashes did not print in our pop-up window, and we didn't create any extra spaces. So those two highlighted characters turned into one single character in the print window. Well, okay, maybe you can foresee what could happen here. This could actually create a new problem. What if I actually wanted to print a backslash? Well, what happened when the creators of Java decided to use the backslash as this escape sequence is, now if you wanted to print a backslash, it doesn't work so easily, because once you put a backslash into a string literal, the compiler immediately looks at the next character for instructions on what to do. So for instance, if I want to print a backslash on the screen, I need two backslashes. Let me show you what I mean here. I'm going to put two backslashes, just like this. However, what's going to happen is when I run this program, I'm just going to get a single backslash on the screen. Okay, so // is the escape sequence. All right, that's what we call it. // is the escape sequence for a backslash. / double quote is the escape sequence for a double quotation mark. Okay, there's actually several other escape sequences. If you were to look into the textbook and go down to the appendix section, you would find in there a list of all the different escape sequences. Okay, so there's only actually a few that we need to know. This is that Java subset that you've heard me talk about before. There's / double quote, there's two slashes, and then there's a third one called /n. /n is the escape sequence for a new new line of code. It's kind of like a print line. So let's show you what I mean right here. Okay, so I'm going to put in front of our double quotes, I'm going to put a /n character. I'm also going to put a /n character right here in front of, right after the double quotes. And what we're going to see is that this line of text will now actually take up 3 lines. So notice what's going to happen is right at that /n, we're going to get a brand new line of text. Okay, so let's run. Okay, so now that line of text turned into 3 lines of text in our print window. Every time the sequence /n was encountered, it turned into a new line of text. So it's kind of like a print line, but I did it all inside of one print statement. Okay, escape sequences also work inside of string variables. So I could just take out all of that string literal, and I could declare and initialize a string with all of that text, and then simply print the string, and I would get the exact same result. Okay, so you can put escape sequences into the initialization of a string variable, or you can put escape sequences directly into a print statement. You'll get the exact same results. You have to be a little careful with the the backslash. The backslash has several escape sequences. So for example, /t is a tab. /n is a new line. However, /anything doesn't necessarily work. So if I just did /w and I hit compile, I get a legal escape character. So the creators of Java created several special escape sequences. // double quote, /n. As I mentioned, /t is a tab. However, if you follow the backslash character by any other letter that is not a predefined escape sequence, you will get a compile error. Because as soon as the compiler sees a backslash inside of a string literal, it starts thinking, okay, what is the special instruction that I'm receiving? And if it doesn't notice that there's a special instruction after that backslash character, it gets confused and throws a compile error.